Hello traders and welcome to the Weekly Outlook and Setups volume 94. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super excited to have you on my YouTube channel. And as you already know, we are gonna have a look at the markets, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming one. So this week I'm kind of disappointed of myself because we had amazingly trending markets, yet I was fixated on actually getting a little bit of a reversal trade on EU and NU. I took a nice trade on GU that actually made me some profits to cover for the losses of those two trades. So basically I am sitting at break even, which is not nice because we had an amazing trending week. And more or less we were used to trade in a kind of a consolidative market, not really moving in a trend the first quarter. So we kind of took very quick trades, trading within the range. But right now the market really started to trend. Since the first week of April, like after the bank holidays, and we had really nice introduction of volume. Therefore, this is what I'm going to reflect actually for the end of this week, that the approach has to change a little bit. Like deep pullbacks do not occur anymore. So I'm going to show you in the charts as well. Therefore, yes, not pretty happy, but of course, I'm going to show you everything that I took. If you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday. It's your best tool to prepare for the week ahead. And once per week, I try my best to share an educational piece of content. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit the notification bell in order not to miss the upcoming content. And just to let you know that I have been trading some crypto as well. And I'm using cheddarforex.com. So they are an amazing broker with amazing spreads and commissions as well. They you can choose the commission account, which is very little commission, but if you choose the eco account, every single dollar of commission you pay goes towards planting trees. So I think this initiative is amazing. So I'm totally supporting that broker. And if you are looking to support nature as well and to have a look at something like this, make sure to check them out. They are amazing. And yeah, if you already did, let's see what do we have for this week. Alright, as always, starting with our best friend, the DXY, to have a look how it developed this week and what we can potentially actually expect for the upcoming one. So as you can see, we're having a very nice bearish engulfing candle this week, and we had a very nice downtrend on the dollar. So if you remember, I have been calling around this range for quite some time, even since the market was up there. Once we saw that little bit of an introduction of bullish pressure, we had the retest later, and since then we have been really nicely trending to the upside. Right here, those 2 weeks, I was actually looking at this level right there, this structural level, to be retested, and we had the indecision. We kind of saw the rejection, and I was thinking that we are gonna drop from here, but nope. We pumped for another wick up, we consolidated for one more, and right now we have some bearish introduction. So the question right now is, are we gonna create a downtrend? So keep in mind that we're sitting at a very strong weekly supply. Then dropping to the daily, we can see that the market is still bullish. All right, so this is actually where the market consolidated and very strongly exited from that area. What does that tell us is that this is a very strong demand area as well. And if we just mark it out, for example, like this is our demand area. You can take the whole zone, but I'm just gonna take it like this and make sure that it stays. Okay, coordinates are fine. So basically right now we are tapping inside this area, which is 92 key level. So if you remember, I have been calling that 92 key level for quite some time. This was actually my targets in order to start taking longs on the DXY. And right now we are inside that area. Okay, so as you can see, like if we really zoom in, we can have a look exactly where the market started to move, and it's around this sort of area. All right, so have a look. The market was sold off right there, tapped into support or whatever it is, and then we strongly impulse to the upside. So eventually this little level right there, this little zone, can be a potential buy zone for the dollar. But having a look at this week, where did it open? Where are you? Somewhere around here. Again, you can see we had a little bit of a pullback, massive flush to the downside. Then we have this very strange wick right there. I actually thought it's a trading view error at that day, but it seems like it isn't because it wasn't fixed. But we basically tapped into the supply area right there. We rejected strongly. We created a little bit of a pullback again, lower high, and then we drop. So basically then you have to mark where is your lower high, and you have to expect the market to push towards it, but we make another lower low right there. Basically we pull back, so this could have been a major lower high because it actually broke structure. But yeah, it wasn't that major because look at where the actual move initiated. It was right there. Then we had that little pullback right there, lower high, consolidated again. It did not pull back for more, push down again, lower high, pull back, lower high, and right now we're sitting at the middle right there. So basically you can see we had a beautiful downtrend on the DXY this week. So basically if I just move my zone right now, I'm gonna take it on average, something like this. So this is basically my lower high right now, just to define it like this. And of course, I always tell you guys, double click on this one, go to text and type full H lower high so that you know where you're currently sitting. And as you can see, the market already retested it. Where is our low? It's right there. This is our lower low. So basically right now we're trading within that range. And what we have to do for Monday is we have to see how the market is going to behave between that range. Keep in mind that we're tapping into 92 and we're having a very strong demand area right there. So what we could have on Monday is an introduction of sellers to potentially make everybody think that we're going down. And then later I'm going to be monitoring if we're going to start having some change of direction, all right? Because I think we might have a little bit of a bullish dollar incoming. But again, it's too early to say that, okay? So basically, guys, for the DXY for next week, I'm monitoring this demand area. I'm monitoring my structural points and how they are respected, but I'm not gonna be rushing on Monday to trade anything. So again, make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis in order to see what is potentially gonna happen. Let's have a look at the EU weekly time frame. Pretty much the same price action as the DXY. We're having those 3 weeks of decline, and right now we're having a nice bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. So again, keep in mind that we're tapping into a very strong weekly demand area right there. You can see the consolidation and how strongly we exited from it. First of all, I was targeting the structural area. It got respected, right? You see this week we kind of supported, but then we dropped a little bit further to come and mitigate something right there around this range. And right now we're showing some bullishness. So guys, keep in mind that on the DXY and on Euro, you can see that, come on. You can see the DXY is sitting at a weekly supply and we can have another big leg down. So those buys that I'm calling right there are not really high probability, but of course they could happen, right? But as you can see, even on Euro, we have this impulse, we have this deep correction right now on the weekly, and we might be about to create a big weekly high. So this is really long term, but first we have to wait for something more to happen, all right? So zooming in a little bit on the daily, you can see we're the last few days right there. We were at the lower low at the beginning of this week. So basically we should be looking for longs, and this is what I looked for, right? But our guy took a short, right? So we started, we push up, pull back, push, another day, little rejection. I think this is where I took my short actually, because I was seeing the market tap into this daily lower high right there. So I was like, okay, we can potentially start looking for shorts, but then we had another bullish day and basically the market then consolidated within that range right there. So currently, yes, we are sitting at this daily resistance. So if this level gets broken next week, which is 1950, I'm going to start looking for longs because the market has to tap inside this area right there, and not to say that we might be about targeting those highs. So again, I keep saying that it is a little bit too early to actually start calling longs on Euro and shorts in the DXY, but of course we can definitely look for that. If we have a look at a very strong supply area, it is this one right there that the market can potentially pull back to before having a very big move up. So right now, yeah, you can see we started right there with a nice push and with a very nice pullback. It actually broke structure right there. This was a very nice pullback, but this is Monday, I think, so I did not trade this one. Or I was looking to trade it, but it didn't provide an entry. I don't remember. And then we had a beautiful push to the upside. Then what I was doing the next day is I was looking for the market to retest at least this structure, not to say to come into the lows right there, but the market just consolidated, created the higher low, created this wick, which is actually a retest on the lower time frames, and then it just bumped to the upside. So I was actually pissed to miss this long because again, I was looking for that deep pullback. Then what do we have? We have a push, we have a little bit of a pullback. We had this strong push to the upside that tapped us into something on the left right there. So basically if you remember guys, my weekly target was this kind of level right there. I was targeting this area, but I was seeing how the market created two little candles of pullback and a big push. So I expected actually the next candle to be something like this, because usually this is a fake out. So what I did is I dropped to the lower time frames. Let me see. I actually plotted my trade. Where is it? Okay, so I have to go possibly on the 15 minutes to have a look at it. Okay, let me just replay the price. So yes, what I was seeing right there is this is your Asian range right there. This was happened during Asia, and I saw this beautiful manipulation right there. So I was like, okay, so we're taking the liquidity above the Asian range and we might be about to go down. The mistake that I did on this one is I did not wait for any kind of breaks of structure or something like this. It was basically not the perfect setup to take from my side. I rushed a little bit on it because have a look at this big consolidation right there, and it got faked to the upside. We had this big wick, and if I jump on the 1 minute, this is actually where I took my setup, which is not something that I usually do. We have this triple top that was taken out from the left. We have this whole range that was being manipulated across all of those structural points. And then what I simply did is I sold this as well. It got manipulated. We strongly pushed to the downside and we started creating a little bit of a downtrend. Then we broke this downtrend as well, but I thought this is as well a stop hunt. So I entered around right there, which is a retest of this structure around. Stop loss was above, but when seeing this bullishness right there, like the market started to consolidate, I cut my trade somewhere right there, kind of a half stop loss, and I risked less on this one, so I risked 0.5% on this one, and then it got me taken out. And then as you can see, it continued to push higher, and actually there is that reversal trade from here, because then we actually broke structure, we introduced some more bearishness. But yes, I got into that short a little bit too early. So basically I wanted to capitalize on this move, but I got in a little bit too early. So this is my euro dollar trade for this week, and pretty disappointed because we had quite a lot of other opportunities along from here to capitalize on. So basically I got stuck on those shorts, which was a mistake from my side. Right now, what can we have on euro dollar for next week? So basically if we drop our structural levels, currently the market is reacting from demand and it has created a higher high. And of course, we have this very strong supply area on the left. So basically right now, can we look for shorts? I think so. I think the market can start with a little bit of a selling pressure right there. And the DXY can start with a little bit of a buying pressure. And maybe they together will start reversing. Okay, but my plan for right now is just to observe the market and to see what it's gonna do, because currently we're perfectly bullish. We made a higher high, we respected the demand, we're already reacting from it, so maybe the market is just gonna continue to break higher. Who knows? Or if it doesn't, then I'm gonna start looking for all of those levels that I was looking to take a trade from, which is this demand where the market strongly exited. Then we have this one to the downside. So basically if the market starts to create a downtrend, we can have something like this until we finally decide to reverse, for example. All right, so EU right now, I am bullish, but currently it's not in the best place to either buy or sell. Therefore, make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis again, where I'm gonna update you on Monday, because I usually don't trade on Mondays. I always wait for the market to develop. And then of course, we're gonna see how the market is gonna be reacting from all of those levels. All right, but overall, we can either have a nice short, or the market can just continue to create that bullish trend. Although I think we might create a little bit of a pullback to come and revisit this daily area. And from there, we can actually start creating a daily higher high. So let's see. Euro yen, another bullish week. As you can see, we opened with a very nice bearish introduction right there to fulfill like 50% of this whole candle. And then we continued to create almost the higher high, but it actually didn't break the weekly high. So we're still kind of having that strong resistance level, which is right there. As you can see, it hasn't closed above it with a body, so therefore we can totally expect some resistance from here. But as you can see, this wick right there was almost tapped by this week, so we had this manipulation down there on the 8th of April, and then we basically rejected it and created this move to the upside. But overall, nothing too much on EJ. As you can see, like we push up, pull back, higher low, higher high, higher lows right there, but it really started to get a little bit messy. Therefore, I just skip trading this pair. And as you can see, then like we start forming this trend line. Oops, not this one. We start forming the trend line, something like this, and then we actually break the trend line. We take out the stop losses here, here, and here. We tap into this structural area right there, which did not tap to perfection, and then we actually have that long opportunity. So basically, this could have been a long trade. I'm not sure if any of my team took it, but yeah, this is basically EJ right now. So keep in mind that we're staying in a very strong resistance level. If I even take it from the 4-hourly to make it even perfect like this, we broke structure down, but I think this was just a fake. But right now it is really hard for me to actually read the 4-hourly, because we have that push, but then we have a push, little slowdown right there, which kind of creates structure. Then we push into the highs, we create a higher high. So right now, where are we? We're in a very strong daily resistance, and it kind of looks like it wants to push down as well. This could be a lower high. Therefore, I do not have anything on EJ right now, because when I see a chart and if it doesn't make sense, I just skip it. So let's see if we actually break above and if we start to create an uptrend, or if we find resistance, push to the downside, break structure, pull back for a lower high, and then potentially start heading lower. All right. So right now, looking for something more on EJ, and it requires a little bit more patience. Alright, let's have a look at the Aussies, starting with Aussie USD. As you can see, we're having an indecisive weekly candle right there. So this weekly price action is a little bit tricky. Like, it's overall stuck in the range, and keep in mind that we are at a higher high. Like, we are, if I drop the fib, for example, we haven't even tapped, okay, we tapped the 38.2, but basically I really think we can start coming down towards 74, 73, not to say 72. As you can see, all of those levels, all of those round numbers are Fibonacci levels as well. So that is a really nice confluence to eventually come and revisit these sort of structures on the weekly. All right. Dropping to the daily, you can see that we're overall bearish, right? So we have that push, pullback, lower low right there, lower high, failure to break above the lower high. We just wicked it. Right, so we took the liquidity that was resting above right there. We broke structure to the downside, and right now we are just ranging inside. So currently, my supply area is actually this candle. So I'm going to be looking for a daily retest of this area before taking the big shorts. All right. Then going to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see that we were trending down. We had that big push down, then we almost broke structure. We pulled back, higher low, higher high. So since then we have been taking longs. We have this pullback right there on the 6th of April, which is a beautiful long that I missed. Actually, I was looking to take a little bit higher, but I took NU and I took a loss on NU, and they both worked out with this push to the upside later. And then we just started to consolidate. So right now, like, we have this overall zone. We have this wick, but this is not a break below. And then we have this overall supply as well. And keep in mind that we're overall looking for this area to get tapped. So currently we're consolidating. We can have a nice run into the highs and then to potentially fall down, which will be amazing. Dropping to the hourly just to show you guys. So basically, where was I looking for that trade? I think from right here. So yeah, I had this level. Have a look at this one. This was the first, or this one as well. Oh yeah, here is the trade that I got confused. So basically, those are the extreme levels that I'm looking at to potentially take a really high probability buy. All right. But what my mistake was is that I was looking for this structure, and I saw the market reject once, reject twice, and I was looking to take a long from here, but I actually took it on NU because NU structure on the lower time frame looked a little bit better. But this was actually a very nice long, because if I drop to the 15-minute time frame, have a look at this. This is the candle that really initiated the move. Have a look at the precision. The market just stopped it right there, and then it reversed. So that would have been an amazing sniper that I could have taken right there, but I was too messed up to look for longs right there, right? And I actually took it on NU and I lost it. So it was not nice, not nice. But yes, this is basically how NU developed. Then we actually retested it again, this new level. We reacted very strongly from it. Actually, we had the community taking trades right there. Yeah, basically, I think the market just strongly pumped up. It made a high, and then we broke to the downside. So the buyers were not enough. We tapped inside this area again. We consolidated a little bit. We faked it again. Have a look at that wick. This happens at Asian session. We fake, and then we start to massively pump into the highs. We tap into this area, and then we have a big sell-off. So AU was really nice this week, but again, a little bit tricky for me, which is why I'm not really satisfied with this week. But basically, again, guys, just to recap, we are having this daily level right there that I really want to see the market come in. Currently, we are stuck between this strong support and the resistance right now that is currently building up, kind of the zone. So basically, I am not looking for anything on the Aussie right now, just for it to see like if it's gonna pump inside this daily area, or if it's gonna break the resistance, the support, this one. So if this one breaks, then I'm gonna be looking for a pullback and to potentially look for lower lows, because this is gonna be a nice introduction of a real downtrend, and then we can actually start targeting those key levels, 72, 73, if you remember from the weekly time frame. Okay, so currently the structure is not that clear, therefore I'm gonna be looking for Monday to show me where it wants to go, and then potentially I'm gonna strike it for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday going forward. And just having a look at a quick look at AJ, again you can see really high. It's really high, and we're having a little bit of a bearish candle right there, but nothing too much. Dropping on the daily, so we had a higher low, we had a higher high, which is not really a higher high because it didn't break structure on the daily, all right? Then we strongly dropped to the downside, we pull back, and it looks like the market is respecting this sort of level right there. So if I drop it on the daily and then drop to the 4-hourly time frame, so this is what happened this week. Very similar to EJ, guys. The JPY pairs were not very clear this week. So we had an uptrend, we kind of had a break of structure right there, so we can start looking for shorts, but then the market comes all the way up, but again, it fails to break this wick, to break the 4-hourly structure. Consolidate, we show a little bit of sellers, so possibly a short right there, but yeah, not entirely clear price action for me. So right now, if I delete everything and if I zoom in, like this candle created my major 4-hourly lower high, so if the market gets inside right there and shows me a lower high, then I will be willing to sell the market, okay? And the demand area is right there, so basically we're trading within that range. The structure is bearish right now, we broke below the 4-hourly low right there. So basically right now the market is really creating this resistance now, but it looks pretty ugly and pretty consolidative, so definitely this can get taken out first. Everybody that is already short from here, their stop losses has to get taken out first, and then we can start seeing some bearishness. All right, so that's my call on AJ, looking for an 84 key level tap and then potentially to take some shorts. All right, next on the list are the NZDs. Let's start with NZUSD. As you can see on this one, we are already having some very nice bearish introduction, which could suggest that the AUs, the Aussies actually can follow up because they're pretty much correlated, right? So currently there is a lot of empty space to be filled right there on the weekly time frame. Therefore, we can expect a pullback into 71,500 in terms of weekly. So it can look something like this, lower high and then a potential pump into 67, okay? Dropping to the daily time frame, you can see that we have exactly the same area as on AU. We have those two indecision candles before a big move to the downside. And right now we're just kind of consolidating, but I think we're gonna kind of push up a little bit, tap inside this area and then sell off eventually. Then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see that again, we were pretty much bullish on this market this week. We bumped into the highest pullback, high right there. So I think I actually took my trade from here. I wanted to take a long, but as you can see, the market broke the lows right there with this wick. So if there were any stop losses staying right there, they got taken out, and that's when we reacted. So basically, I got taken out as well, guys. Then we push up. We kind of failed to break the high. So we have a very strong resistance, very similar to the Aussie right now. We didn't break the lows as well. So basically, we are right now stuck in a range. Therefore, it will be pretty hard to determine what NU can do. And again, if we remember that we're looking for that long trade into this daily level, then potentially the market needs some steam in order to push up. Therefore, what my plan is for next week is to see the market pull back inside this area and then to potentially take a long and ride it all the way into 71,500. Because right now the market is just cooking, it's consolidating, it's tricking people like me. And then potentially we can spike to the downside to trick sellers, and then we can actually initiate the move. So this is basically my analysis on NU. And if I just show you my trade for this week, I don't want to show it, but let me see, long position. Yep. Very, very stupid. So basically what I was looking at is for that long. As you can see, the market is tapping this level right there, the extreme. So the market is reacting first. It manipulated down once again, but it basically was creating lower highs and lower lows. Then as you can see, it reacted later, but I was a little bit too early into that trade. So basically I went on the 3 minutes. Let me show you what I had. Luckily I didn't take it from here because we had some sort of a break of structure, but we had this little structure that was taken out. Then we have this very nice wick right there that indicates rejection. We had this very strong push to the upside on the 3 minute. We broke structure right there. We broke structure right here. We had a little bit of a consolidation. So basically I entered from this area right here. And guess what? Boom. Stop loss. And this is basically my NU trade. I also looked at the 1 minute, like we had this nice push, we had this little consolidation, we tapped it. First of all, it looked like rejecting, but then just boom, 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 stop loss. And pretty kind of stupid trade. It wasn't really like a high probability one with a lot of confluences, but it is what it is, right? So basically, this is my plan for NU, guys, this week. Make sure to take note of those levels that I'm pointing out right now. Basically, if I remove all of those stuff right there, yep. So basically, this is the low that could be broken, but keep in mind that we can respect it again and just keep going up. So if we keep going up, then we take longs. All right. But first of all, I really think we're going to have some sort of a manipulation to trick sellers so we can have the weekly low So if the market starts to pump down, everybody's gonna think it's going down, and that's when we're actually gonna take longs from here. So that's my plan. Let's see. Then going to NJ, which actually looks pretty bearish right now if I have a look at it. And if you remember, this was the level that I was looking at. It got tapped to perfection. So we pumped inside to consolidate. Strong break below structure. So first short opportunity right there, right? This is a lower high. Push to the downside, and then we just basically consolidated overall. If I have a look where it is on the daily time frame, yeah, this one I don't like the confluences because this one looks really bearish, while NU is also bearish, but still on NU I think we can have some more upside, but this one does not look like an upside, right? But it can totally be, of course. We have this daily supportive level that can get tapped as on NU. So if NU pushes down to tap into the daily supply demand, this one can push up down first to tap into the daily demand and then to eventually push up. So it's a little bit 50-50 for those pairs. But if I just zoom in to have a look at the most recent price action, it is bearish. All right, this is our lower high right now. The market almost tapped it and it's currently rejecting, but currently it's not at a nice place to either buy or sell. So as I said at the beginning, the JPYs are not very clear right now. So if I take any trade on that one, I'm going to be looking for a double top formation and then to potentially go lower. Okay, a double top of this structure, because if I drop on the hourly time frame, there is your kind of structure. So I want to see the market come again inside, reject for my 50-minute patterns, and then to potentially fall down. But NJ is not my main focus. I don't pay too much attention to it. NU will be what I'm going to be looking for this week. So let's see, guys. That is my plan on the NZDs. All right, let's have a look at some USD, starting with UJ, this big buy right there. So currently we're having a very nice bearish candle right there, but for how long is it going to be bearish? We don't know, right? So the weekly time frame is in need of a pullback, but is it going to start a pullback from here, or is this just a pullback for a higher low formation and then a continuation up? This is what we have to figure out. Dropping on the daily time frame, it is perfectly bullish. Okay, so this is basically the area that the move originated from. We almost tapped it. So basically this is a push, this is your pullback right now. We have a bearish candle inside this area, and right now it looks like it's reacting, but not really, because it is reacting from this little wicks right there, which is a full hourly structure. If I drop to the full hourly, have a look. So we have this again, selling opportunities on UJ. First break of structure right there, pullback, lower high, take sales from there, push, pullback, lower high, sales from there, and a massive pump down. But I was missing out on those because I was looking for those deep pullbacks. Actually, UJ was perfect right there. London Open, I think there was a very nice opportunity on this one, but it didn't provide a perfect entry. You can see like it was pushing up, and all of a sudden, boom, down. So basically did not provide any break and retest patterns up there. And then we had all of this consolidation, so it was pretty hard to get into a short on this consolidation. Like we had that pump to the downside, then all you can do is enter right there. But for me, this already looks a little bit too low. If I enter, I want to be something right here or maximum right there, but I didn't, and then this was looking already too low, but actually strongly pushed to the downside. And then basically we had that withdrawal from that daily level right there. So currently, what is gonna happen on UJ? Well, we have this level, right? So right now we have to see how the market is gonna stay below that level, and if we're gonna have another run into the lows to potentially tap in the middle of this level right there, to potentially tap into these demand candles right there, and from there to actually start making the upside. Okay, but let's say the market can create something like this as well. We can pull back, we can create a high low formation, and then we can actually break above. So if I have a close above this structure, guys, I'm gonna start looking for longs, and then we can have a pullback and a potential continuation up. So this is basically my plan. Those lines look like an art picture right there, but this is it. Either a push into the daily demand, from there to look for longs, or a pullback, a confirmed higher low right there. Or if you don't want to take it from here, wait for the structure break, wait for the market to confirm a higher high, then look for a new higher low, and then take it upwards. So this is my plan on UJ, overall looking for longs, and if this level doesn't hold right there, then maybe potentially we are about to create a weekly pullback. So it's going to be really crucial to see what's going to happen next week. So make sure to let Monday play out, and then let's see what do we have for the week ahead. Let's have a look at UCAD, which is not a pair that I trade. It's not on my watch list, but currently we're sitting at some interesting levels. As you can see from 2017 or 2018, This was the biggest low right there. We broke structure right there, and since then we introduced this big uptrend. Okay, we actually had a push, we had a pullback, so this is another demand area. We have a push, we have a pullback, another demand area, but basically all of those are getting broken, and right now we're sitting into this one, so this kind of area right there, which the market can potentially react to. So fast forward today, this is 1.24 as well. The market reacted this week, but we're still pretty much bearish. All right, then dropping on the daily time frame, have a look at that tap right there. We push into the highs, but basically we failed to continue higher. So right now we have this sort of daily supportive resistance level, then dropping on the 4-hourly. This is the price action that we're currently working with. Okay, so push into the highs, break of structure starting to look like sales. Then we have this final pump into the highs on the 7th of April, and then we start to withdraw to the downside. So pretty tricky. And if you build a story, have a look at this double bottom right there. It beautifully got faked into this weekly demand area, and then we created an uptrend. So basically a lot of orders were entered from this level right there. So the market will eventually come and revisit that area like this before continuing to the upside. Okay, so maybe eventually right now we can take sales with targets towards 1.24200, something like this. Because right now if I zoom in, we had that pump up that broke structure, so it starts to look bullish. We pull back to potentially create a higher low, but actually the market creates a lower high and it retests this sort of hourly structure. If I drop on the hourly, yeah, something like this, let's say. And right now we have a lower low on UCAD. Okay, so basically our major structure is this one. This is too big of a wick. Yeah, let's take it like this one. So basically right now what we need is a pullback, a confirmed lower high, and to potentially start pumping to the downside with eventual targets, again, this level right there, from which we can maybe start taking longs and seeing some strong demand on UCAD. So that's my plan. I don't trade UCAD, but overall looking for sales. So let's see what next week is going to provide us with. USD we see a massive bearish engulfing candle on the weekly, so really nice. Look at that. That is really nice after this big pump to the upside. So basically pretty similar to the DXY. We're currently tapping inside this demand, but it doesn't look like it wants to find support. Okay, so the only thing that could happen right now is we can eventually find support just to create the daily pullback and then to eventually start heading lower, because there is a lot of space to be filled to the downside. This market can go all the way down towards 0.90. So this is I'm not sure how much, but it is a lot, 250 pips or something like this. I'm not sure, but yeah, basically this week again, regretting not trading this one. We started with a nice pump to the downside, lower low, beautiful lower high, lower low, starting to create lower highs. So basically a beautiful downtrend that could have totally capitalized on, right? But I did not trade it. So currently right now we're sitting at this extreme level right there and finding support from it. So is this one gonna break? I don't know. I think totally it can break, but this market is in need of a daily pullback, as I told you. For how long is it gonna pull back? I don't know, but basically right now this is our 4-hourly lower high. Well, it's not actually, this should be it. Okay, let me drop it like this. Why is this one? Because this lower high has not created a lower low. So this is basically right now a potential lower high from which we can take sales. Okay, so currently I'm gonna be monitoring how the market will react on Monday. So we can have a situation like this, something like that, because we can I think that market is potentially gonna create a daily pullback. So it's all the matter of seeing a structure shift on the 4-hourly. Okay, so far we're pretty bearish. We can also mark this level because the market can open, it can retest it, and then it can fall down to create a double top or an equal lower high to go down. But from here, I would be looking for potentially for longs for the market to continue higher. We have this little zone right there that can also get retested. So we can have something like this to trick sellers into the market, and then eventually we can start looking to the upside. But as you can see, I'm spotting this thing again. I'm looking for the longs in a bearish market. But I build the story from the higher time frames that the daily is in the need of a pullback, because have a look, we've had 5 days of straight bearish price action, so this has to pull back maybe to create a head and shoulders as well. So let's see. Basically keep those major lower highs right there and wait for a lower high to be broken, and that's when we can start looking for the buys. Let's have a look at the GBP starting from GU. As you can see, a very nice bearish week. This one we started with a nice pump into the highs to create a high of the week, and then we sharply pushed to the downside, creating this very nice actually bearish engulfing candle. So right now the question is, where is GU headed? As you can see right now we have pretty balanced price action, and it looks overall in an uptrend. So I cannot find actually any areas that need a retest, maybe this one lower right there, but yeah, therefore I do not have too much of a weekly expectation in it. What I'm looking at right now is this big daily zone, because if you have a look guys, this is like a little accumulation phase, and then we sharply exited from that area. So currently we tapped inside it, we reacted from it, but then we're tapping inside it again. Okay, so basically this is the last resort, which is actually 36,500. This will be the maximum level that I will permit the market to not break if I'm looking for longs in terms of a daily. Okay, because if this level actually gets broken, then I think we're overall trending to the downside. So this week I took one trade on GU. Actually, if I show you, let me see, long position where we are. I have to drop to the hourly maybe to see it. All right, here it is. So yes, I was looking for that long. As you can see, we had the Asian session manipulation right there, early London. We manipulated and then we strongly dropped to the downside. So I was actually expecting at least 50% of that move to get fulfilled, but it got a little bit too late. And as you can see, it almost got it. So I could have taken profits right there, but maybe it was my greed again. But yeah, basically we pumped to the downside. You can see that the market found support from this demand area on the left, then dropping on the 15 minutes. We actually had a beautiful break. So this was a higher probability trade because it broke structure on the 15-minute right there. As you can see, the most recent structure right there. And basically I got it on the retest. Have a look on the 5-minute. We had the accumulation. We had the fake of the accumulation, a break above the structure, and a retest right there of this candle. So basically this is where I entered. Nice break of structure right there, nice pullback, nice. This was, I was thinking of taking profits in this area, but I was like, okay, let's let it run for a little bit more. And yeah, I could have banked like at least 4 hour, but I was looking for that 5 hour, and I was looking for this 15-minute wick to get fulfilled right there. So this was basically my target. And eventually, as I was seeing how the market was starting to shift the structure on the 3-minute, have a look, push, pullback, lower low, lower high. And I put my stop loss right, where was it? I think right there, something like this. And I got stopped out right here in profit, which I think made me 1.5% or something like this. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was basically my only profitable trade for this week, which is why I'm pretty unsatisfied with this week, but it is what it is. I'm finishing overall break even. So looking into the market right now, okay, so again, as I said, we're staying in this daily level right there. We have created this double bottom that can eventually get taken out. Have a look how perfect it is. So what I would expect for next week, guys, like we're just starting to squeeze right now really nicely right there on the hourly, like a lower high. It's hard to actually identify where the lower high is. It should be this one, dropping to the hourly. Yeah, have a look how we nicely faked below. So actually my community took longs on this push down, so they rode it into the upside, and right now the market is staying right there. So what I expect to happen for next week is, let's say Monday can open with a consolidation, we can have a spike into 36,500, into some of those levels, and then eventually we can start introducing some buys. Okay, so this is something that I'm gonna be looking for, because currently the market does not look amazing for shorts around this area. So if I'm taking shorts, I would wait for something a little bit clearer. Okay, so this is basically my plan on GU. If you have a look as well, we have this last candle right there before this big move up, so this can also get fulfilled. So basically I'm gonna be looking for longs inside this big daily demand area. Okay, so let's see if the market is gonna pump inside, and then as it is inside, that's when I'm gonna start looking for the market to start breaking structure and creating an uptrend. Okay, so that's my plan on GU, but it's pretty crucial to wait for Monday, maybe even Tuesday to play out to show me how it wants to shift the structure right there, because if it doesn't, then I'm gonna continue taking shorts. As for GJ, weekly time frame, another bearish candle as well, so this is way too high. Have a look. So we might be about initiating a bigger weekly pullback. So if this one starts to pull back very strongly on the weekly, then eventually GU is gonna start pushing down as well. My last resort for GJ is this candle, which is the demand before the break of structure. So this is a very strong level right there. dropping on the 4-hourly time frame. Beautiful shorts this week on GJ. Pump down, pull back, push down, pull back, lower high, push, pull back, lower high as well. The final little sell. So basically, again, if the GU is gonna play out as I want it to play out, this one can actually pump inside this daily demand area into 149. And then from there, we can actually react and maybe initiate a little bit of a push to the upside, because in terms of daily, we can pull back as well. So basically, guys, I'm kind of a long biased into the beginning of the week for the GBPs. All right, especially GU and GJ, because I don't trade Euro GBP and GJ actually. So yeah, this is my, nothing else to say. Like, this is my major lower high. It actually got tapped in, so the market should continue to push down into market open. Because the liquidity was already gathered, the market already created lower high. What could happen is we can come again to create a double top and then to potentially push down. But overall, my target will be 149. I think this level can get tapped. And from there, actually, I'm going to be really zoomed into the market to potentially take some reversal trades for longs. So this is my plan on GJ. GA, I don't trade this one, guys. I'm completely clueless of what this market wants to do. But it's overall moving to the upside. Like, this is your daily level right there that the market is currently tapping into. Dropping on the 4-hourly, it is perfectly bearish. Okay, but same story. Like, have a look at this very strong demand level right there. The market pushed, pulled back, and then from here we introduce this beautiful uptrend to the upside. So right now the market is trending towards it, which is 1.79 as well. So currently the lower high is, yeah, it's actually this one, because we have a pause, we break below, we have a pullback. It's not the major one, but it is something. So what could happen as well is we can have another push into the lows, and then from there we might have a little bit of a change of structure and the potential daily higher high. Because if you have a look, this is when the daily actually moved. So this is the last resort, and if this level gets broken, then we can eventually start trading lower. Okay, so let's see on GA. I am also looking for longs if we tap inside this area, and potentially if the market shows me that it wants to reverse. Euro GBP, massive explosion. Like, we had all of that liquidity building up, really choppy market, and then all of a sudden it just exploded to the upside. So basically the weekly is, yeah, we didn't tap inside this area. We came very close, but we actually retested this level right there. So basically right now we have this massive explosion right there. So what's gonna happen? I have no idea. If you have a look on the daily, we have this pump to the downside. So this is basically your extreme level, and the market, oops, why did I click this one? And the market can potentially start to pull back right now and then eventually give us another long. But in terms of a 4-hourly time frame, it is just very impulsive right now. It is very high, so I'm not focused on EG. So let me know if you actually trade, guys, Euro GBP. I don't. And yeah, but basically this is our higher low right now. The market already retested it, created a higher low. So basically we should expect an upside, but keep in mind that the daily is too high. It's currently filling in that wick. So if we eventually go on the 4-hourly, you can see that this is a very strong supply area where the market created a big downtrend. So yes, pretty tricky to determine what's gonna happen right there. But my main focus is on longs on GU, potentially if my plan plays out, and maybe GJ longs. But main focus is GU. So let's see how next week is gonna play out. Another overall bullish week on gold, which was pretty nice. As you can see, after this big quick right there, we are trying to continue higher, but we still haven't broken the weekly high, which is right there, okay, in terms of a weekly close. And even if I drop to the daily, like, we closed exactly at that level, like maybe broke it by just a little bit, but this is not a significant break for me. So as you can see, we created a beautiful double top, double bottom right there. So this is a nice signal right there. Can it eventually get tapped again, maybe faked and then a continuation? Possibly yes. But as you can see, this week again, I was looking for a little bit of a deeper pullback. So the first pullback that I wanted to see is at least to this area, but the market just created this one, little one. Then we pushed into the highs, but it was getting a little bit sloppy right there, and I thought we were gonna push down. But then we had this beautiful pump into the highs, and as you can see, it actually took out this high on the forward. It took it out, and then we strongly reacted to the downside. So right now, what is gold gonna do? Again, I am not trading gold. I'm not an expert on it, so I always appreciate your view on gold, guys. So currently we're sitting into this supportive level. So for me, If we have a break below the supportive level, then I'm gonna be looking for shorts, because maybe we can again come inside to fulfill this area, maybe to fulfill even this area, or maybe even to make a new low down there before making a big uptrend. Because right now everybody is long after this double bottom, so gold is usually working a lot with manipulation. It first confuses everyone before actually making the move. So I think first of all we might introduce a little bit of a bearish trend to let everybody know that gold is trending down, to tap into some of those areas, and then to eventually move higher. So currently gold is pretty bullish again, but if we break below this area, then potentially we can take some quick sells. But of course be mindful that overall in terms of a weekly, gold might be about to pump up. The indices keep pushing up, creating all-time highs. As you can see, US 30, another very nice bullish week right there, and dropping on the flowery time frame to have a look at some of the levels. Well, basically we respected this level on the 1st of April, and since then we have been trading pretty much to the upside. Again, then we have this another level right there that was tapped at first, then was tapped twice. Actually, if we have any stop losses staying below right there, they were taken out right there. And here we have another massive pump into the highs. So right now this is a hard high, so what we have to wait for maybe is for a little pullback at the beginning of the week, and then eventually a continuation to the upside. Same with NASDAQ, which is a beautiful uptrend to the upside. So basically our current level is this one, which the market did not quite reach. We almost tapped inside it, but right now we are kind of in the range between the high and this low. So of course, I think we should start the week with a little bit of a bearishness to potentially tap inside those areas, and then from here actually to react higher. And S&P, of course, my favorite index. I made a little investment yesterday actually, but it was on a stock. Not on the ETF, because it's way too high, so it didn't make too much sense for me to buy that high. So eventually looking for some sort of a daily pullback on it, because you can see we consolidate, and from here we really initiated a very nice move higher. So if it happens that the market comes inside 4K, sometimes I'm gonna go in all in actually. All right. So this is my view on the indices, and this is how I'm gonna wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you managed to extract something valuable from it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe of course, and let me know what you think down in the comments. So again, be prepared for next week. I think right now Q2 is starting to kick really nicely. We're starting to have some nice introductions of trends as well. So be mindful of that. Don't try to look too much for reversals, which is my main lesson for this week. And of course, the trend is your best friend. All right. So let's have a relaxing weekend right now and get ready to have a crushing week.